William, Chet, Steve, Raymond. Thank you, Raymond. Hope you're having a great day too. We'll give people a couple minutes to join, settle in. All right, let's get Discord, guys. All right, let's start. Welcome to Tradespoon in Yellowtown. My name is Vlad Karpel. I'm CEO and founder of both companies. And today we're going to have a live trading room open to trade stock and options using our technology. Before we begin, this is my brief bio. If this is your first live event, do me a favor, type in first. Always want to welcome new subscribers. Just say hello. My brief bio, I was Executive Vice President, Head of Technology at Options Express. Options Express was an online broker-dealer acquired by Charles Schwab for $1 billion. Very proud of that experience, shaped my professional career. Started Tradespoon in 2012, started Yellow Tunnel in 2018. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the subscribers. Because of you, I'm able to do what I enjoy professionally, managing and trading my own money. I've been doing that for over 15 years, mentoring and teaching subscribers how to trade stock and options. And finally, I have master's degree in computer science, specializing in statistics and artificial intelligence. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. If you're new to trading stock and options, I encourage you to visit optionsclearing.com. Use this link to read and understand the risks associated with trading stock and options. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not registered with FINRA nor SEC. I'm showing you what I do in my own account based on my own risk tolerance level for general education and information purposes only. Please consult your financial advisor prior to making any trading decision. All right. Very important to go over the foundation of trading from my perspective in terms of what are the key concepts that you need to internalize to be a successful trader. One is the economy of control, right? Process versus outcome, right? I think there was somebody left a review, Vlad, I forgot what he said. Something that says Vlad is not apologetic, which is good, in a good context. The idea is that, yes, for a very long time, before I met Dr. Manek, I always took trading kind of personally, right? I'm either right or I'm wrong, right? There is no other way, right? And if I'm right, I'm making money. And if I'm wrong, I'm losing money. I think that's incorrect. I think a lot of people think like that, or majority of the people think like that. But in reality, it's incorrect way of thinking about stock market. Stock market is not being right or wrong. It's having an opinion on the market, right? You can have your own opinion. You can follow somebody and follow their opinion, and then based on that opinion, how much money are you willing to risk, right? And it's not being right or wrong, right? I keep arguing this with my kids. They said, well, if you predicted the market is going up and it went down, then you're wrong. And my point is that wrong has a negative connotation, right? It's not like you did something bad. You study, you had a theory, and it's kind of like a chemistry in the lab, right? You have certain theory and you do a lab experiment, and if the experiment is unsuccessful, then you modify the ingredients, you modify the temperature, and you try it again, right? So it's a process, right? And you don't have a control over the outcome, right? Sometimes outcome will be positive, sometimes negative. You look at the data, you adjust, and rinse and repeat, right? So process versus outcome is very important. I propose to spend most of your mental energy on process in terms of number of cash, position size, number of positions, strike price selection, and following certain signals. Some people prefer day trading, some people prefer momentum, long-term investing. Whatever the strategy you have, strategy is a secondary. Primary is getting the process correctly. The second is, so that's the economy of control, right? So key concepts, what can you control? We have Powell speak today at, I think, 1 p.m. Eastern or 2 p.m. Eastern. I have to check, 1:30 Eastern, I think. Again, that can spark volatility. We have GDP number, we have initial, employment, ADP employment numbers. Market kind of, again, looking for direction. Powell speaks, everybody's anticipating that speech. Usually when Powell speaks, market moves, right? Do you know which way it's going to move? You probably don't. And you can, we can argue, I can be bullish, you can be bearish, but it's not that one is right and one is wrong, right? This is more of an element of luck, right? More of an element of luck to kind of predict what Powell will say and what the reaction to the market will be. So, but number of position size, cash, that is something you can control. That's not luck, that's process. And the second one is negative visualization, right? You go through positive and negative scenarios. Right? We're going to do CrowdStrike trade, right? So let's go over some on CrowdStrike trade. It's trading at 113, right? I sold 116 put, right? Yesterday, 116 put. So I'm losing, the trade is going against me. So now I'm down $3. Again, negative visualization, I said pre-market when it was at 120, then it was 19, 118, 117. You could sell short the stock and protect your portfolio. I don't have ability to, in the broker dealer that I'm using, Trading Block, to do that. So I have to wait for market to open. But again, negative visualization, right? Reviewing that the stock can go against you, and then what do, right? There are two choices that I can do if the trade is going against me. One is I can just close the short put for a loss, but the premium in these short puts will be, I won't be able to close them for $3. I would have to pay probably $5, $6. So one thing I can do to mitigate some of the losses is sell short the stock, right? So my plan is to look at the open and try to sell short the stock and minimize the losses to $250 on a $10,000 portfolio. Notice again, 1% when the trade goes against you by 4%, right? So I'm down $300 or 3%, $300. But if it was a $200 stock, I would be down $600. So always keep in mind that based on the account value, what is the proper strike price selection, right? If you have $10,000, selling 138 put or buying 138 put, whatever your strategy is, I think is appropriate. Into it, $400 stock, one contract. If I was off on into it, by 5%, well, that's $20, right? That's $2,000 down. So then, it can, be down 20% of my portfolio. So when you're buying or selling options, I encourage you to not buy on the margin and always translate strike into equity. You're not trading one contract of into it. You're trading one contract, which is $40,000 worth of equity, right? So that's very important, right? And negative visualization is also important, right? When you place in a trade, you usually go through these exercises of positive and negative visualization. And if the trade is going against you, then you have to visualize, like, what am I going to do exactly, right? I'm going to sell short the stock. I'm going to, hopefully there'll be a rebound, close the short put and minimize losses. And then if the market at the end is going to sell off, then I'm going to close the short stock, maybe break apart that inverse cover call. Negative visualization helps with fight or flight response. Contract size helps with fight or flight response, and cash, right? So, and it's all about compounding investing, right? One trade, if I'm down $250, okay, I can move on. It's just one out of many trades. I can zoom out. If I'm down 20% on the trade on my portfolio, then it's very hard to zoom out, and compounding investment doesn't work, right? Because you can have 10 trades where you made $200, but if you have one trade where you lost $2,000, then it wipes out all your gains. So compounding investment is just always the same size. You have more winners than losers, and the size is always the same. All right. So key concept is portfolio allocation, portfolio drawdown, number of positions, and position size. Any questions? Good morning, Bob, Lali, Charles, Faust, Raymond. All right, so let's start. Market is about to open. We need to keep an eye on CrowdStrike. It's trading at 112. Let me sell the short stock. I would do 100 shares because it's in the money, right? It's in the money. Trade stock. Let's see, CrowdStrike. Sell short 100 shares. Limit. Okay. $111. So I'm just waiting to see if it's going to find support or not. Technology is flat, Spider's flat, value stocks are flat, interest rates are, so it looks like it's going down. All right, so I'm going to sell shorts, 110. Yes, 109.70. Let's see, 109.60, 109.90. All right, sell short, 109.90. Okay. Okay, so now I do have a short position, so let's see, how much is the short call? I mean, short put. Let's see. The short put is $7, right? So short put is $7, 109. So it's not a lot of premium actually, time premium, because it's a deep in the money put. Okay. So now I have to basically, the goal is, well, if it continues going lower, then I'm not losing any additional value, right? Because it's an inverse cover call. If it rebounds, the risk is now to the upside, right? The short put, if it jumps to 116, well, I can close the short put, but then the short stock would be against me, right? So the break-even point is, 116. 116, I'm not losing anything. But if it goes more, 120, well, then I'm losing, I'm not losing money on the short put, but I'm going to lose money on the short stock. So now I have to watch and see what happens with the stock. Intuit is flat. Workday hasn't moved beyond estimated move, so that's fine. But the CrowdStrike did it, right? And I said this is a very volatile stock, and obviously negative surprise, and the stock is down 20%, even though it was a pretty strong stock before. But again, negative earnings, downgrading to the future earnings, downgrading the current earnings growth, and the stock is down. All right. So let's watch CrowdStrike, and then looking at interest rates after better than expected GDP, right? So better than expected GDP in Q3, and as soon as that data came out, even though ADP employment number was worse than expected, right? Significantly worse than expected. So in terms of employment, initial reaction to the employment numbers, yields were down, because bad news is good news for the market, right? The Fed is not going to raise interest rates. So bad news, market rallied, and then you have good news, GDP was stronger than expected. I mean, even though it's the third quarter, not the fourth quarter, but nonetheless, right away rates jumped. But again, it's the Q3 rate jump because the perception that the Fed is going to, raise interest rates or hold elevated interest rates longer, right? Not first half of next year, maybe even till the end of the next year, right? Nobody knows. So that's the reaction. The next important catalyst is again at 1:30, right? That's when Jerome Powell is going to talk again. The hope is that he's going to say that he's going to pause interest rates, or at least decrease the magnitude of interest rate hikes. If he is delivering very hawkish statement, then market is going to sell off. If it's business as usual, same speech that he gave last time in Jackson Hole, or I think market is just going to stay in wait and see mode. All right. So it looks like CrowdStrike found some support. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Discord, guys. All right. And then you have workday. Gonna reverse into the downside. So I'm just gonna watch into it. I mean, workday and CrowdStrike. 838. Switch to 15 minutes. I do have in my personal workday 160, so call. So that I also have to manage by buying a stock. So I'm just here. I'm doing ratio spreads because it's still, at least as of right now, out of the money. Each would not let me sell CrowdStrike short. That's, I mean, Fidelity allows me to do it. Schwab allows me to do it. I would call them. Maybe you don't have the right permission. Or maybe you're trading from Canada. It says traders is mark. So, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's a limitation. If you're not allowed to sell short stock, it's a problem. Then you just have to take a loss. Right? I mean, right now it's actually, there's not a lot of time premium, maybe not $1.50 in CrowdStrike. I mean, it was as low as 108, it's 111. I mean, in an ideal world, it rebounds to 116. I close the short put, and then, if it drops back to 111, then I would close the stock. Keep in mind, it's extremely volatile, right? Keep in mind, it's extremely volatile because we do have Powell speak. So probably volatility will pick up around 12:30. So in ideal world, I want to finish it before 12:30 and not take the risk of Powell, moving market one way or the other. For now, QQQ is up. Slightly, semis are up slightly, spiders, flats. Not a lot of price action. Kind of same. Okay. Fred, good morning. Fred, okay. Sorry about the GoToWebinar issues. Okay, I did a put spread. Bought 110, sold 115. I'm not sure if it's Mark or someone else. Bought 110, sold 115. That to me is a credit put spread. If you're selling higher strike, it's a credit put spread, and you already have a credit put, so you're actually doubling down. So I'm market neutral, right? So I'm market neutral. I'm shorting the crowd strike in case it continues to go down, and then I have 116 put. So this is long, this is bullish position, this is bearish. If you have short 116 put and you sold the credit put spread, then it means you're doubling down, and I'm not sure if this is the right strategy. Right. I mean, in ideal world, again, CrowdStrike is at 108, it goes to 115, 117. I close the short put and hopefully that it will drop. Let's see how much is a short put now cost. So maybe you want to reverse that. If you want a neutral, you buy 115 put and you sell 110, but then you're, Okay. Raymond, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, approaching 130, still a lot of premium left in the 130.5 put. Okay, well, we'll talk about 130.5 XLK. So let's go over XLK. I mean, XLK position is the same thing, right? So I do have 130.5 put. It's trading at that level. It was as low as 129.5. I mean, I'm going to watch this level, right? This is kind of a line in the sand. Right. I mean, if it after the Fed, if it drops and continues to go lower, then I would probably sell the stock and sell short. Sell the stock, the long stock, and go into short. Same thing with the crowd that I did with the CrowdStrike. Model basically says, what does the model say? 392, 407. So model still bullish on the market. The line in the sand is 390, right? So in theory, as long as market is above 390, as long as it's above this breakout, CPI breakout, bulls are in control. And incrementally, market can continue going higher. Not a lot, but incrementally, even 410, 416 is still on the table. If after Powell's speech we are below 390, day one, day two, we're below actually 386, then then this is the top. We might or might not retest it during Christmas if we're gonna have a Christmas rally. So for now, it's kind of too early to, if you're a short-term aggressive trader and you're thinking about next couple of weeks going into the Christmas holidays, it's kind of just too early. All right, workday is 158. CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike is rebounding. Okay, so that's good. Let's look. 15 minutes. So bulls are stepping in. Let's see how much is the. Okay, so it's 450. So now it's 450. So down $400. All right. So now the idea is to wait to see where the top is going to be built, right? Similar price pattern we had with Microsoft, right? Microsoft dropped 20%, or I don't know, 15%. Then it rebounded over the middle of the day, and then it sold off. The caveat here is that we do have Powell's speech at 1:30, and that can move the market one way or the other. So you just have to wait and see. But the idea is, if once it does reach certain top, right, and starts going higher, then you close the short put, right? You close the short put, and then if it retraces back, you close the short stock. And ideally, I want to do it before 1:30. That's the strategy. I will see if this will actually work as I'm planning it. Let's look at workday. All right, let's review the other positions, see if there's any questions. No issues, go to webinar here. Okay. Selling 120. I mean, yes, another way is, right. So you can minimize by selling a call, right? That's another strategy, Lolita. I agree with that, right? So you're short put, you're long the market. We sold the call, right? We sold the call. Or I sold the call. At least some of you also did that. Right, so we did sell 162.5 call, right? So that lost all the premium. So now the other strategy, yes, if it rallies and you see it stop rallying, you sell a call, 120. I mean, yeah, but you want to kind of wait till this rebound stops. Right? It is a very well covered stock, right? Cybersecurity, a lot of people own the stock, a lot of people like the stock. So bulls can move it higher. The question is how far, right? Kind of like we have Amazon price pattern, right? Or Microsoft. What was the Microsoft? Right, it dropped, right? It dropped significantly. Much drop. I mean, 8%, right? 8% for Microsoft is like 20% for CrowdStrike because it's a high, different cap stocks. But anyway, the price pattern was the same, right? 1 hour, 2 hours, it reached the top. It kind of reached some kind of a plateau and then reversed down. So once you do see this reversal down, this is where you want to close the short put and, close the short stock. But you got to find that, you got to see this pattern. You got to find this pattern. With $237 stocks, the losses were just way outside my limit, so I got out, right, and a little bit too early. But CrowdStrike, it's half, and that's the advantage. It's half the equity value, so I can be more patient. But yeah, I like selling short call. Okay. All right, let's keep an eye. Any other questions? Fred, great call on JP Morgan. Yeah, let's review the other positions. Spending too much. Yeah, JP Morgan pulled back. It is overbought. Can it continue going high incrementally? We had this discussion yesterday. Sure. But again, on all these stocks, maybe with a few exceptions, like that are not highly correlated to the market, can it go? There's a little room to the upside. There is a lot of room to the downside, and that goes across all sectors, right? Can it get to 410, 416? Sure, that's still possible, as long as we're above this line. But if we drop below 390 and we can actually revisit 350 in December and January, well, there's 40 points to the downside, 20 points to the downside, upside. The risk versus reward doesn't make sense to chase these stocks. All right, thank God we did not do NTAP. I was kind of concerned about NTAP. It did sell 62. It didn't get to 62, but again, the bid and ask is very wide, and even if it doesn't get to your strike, you have to wait, right? You have to wait. At least with CrowdStrike, it's a very liquid name, right? And we're trading 11 million shares, right? Average volume 4 million shares. So it's a lot more liquid than with NTAP, and HRL. Same thing, right? It didn't drop that much, 3%. A little bit higher, but still, if it's a liquid name, only 400,000 shares traded. You have this wide bid and ask spread, then closing that short put is very difficult, right? The market makers are gonna, make it very wide, and you're gonna have a hard time getting a good fill, right? At least with CrowdStrike, the short put there's not a lot of time premium right now. There's still little, but only 1% maybe. With NTAP, it could be 2-3%. All right. Let's see, Workday. So Workday works better, right? So I bought a stock, 157, 159. Now I can close the stock, close the short call, and actually I'm making money. So that's the good trade. With CrowdStrike, same thing. If you're able to sell pre-market, you could have sold 117, 119, right? So that would be a much better situation. So if your broker dealer doesn't allow you to sell pre-market, right, or post-market, most of them do, right? Fidelity, Schwab, big brokerages firms, they all have. Small brokerages firm that they might not. So then that's a problem. Then you would have to just find brokerage firm that does. All right, let's review the positions. Okay, so talked about enough about CrowdStrike. Let's keep waiting. NOC, not much change, right? It's still trading at 530. Let's see. Let's look at NOC. Trading same pattern, no changes. It's kind of again going through consolidation. Probably potentially can pull back, right? It's not going anywhere. So again, for now I'm going to trade around this position. No changes to NOC. QQQ, short term, I still think, based on what Powell will say today, based on PCE data tomorrow, right? We have PCE data for October that could spark volatility if it's, still October. So PPI and CPI data was better than expected in October. I'm going to make an assumption that PCE data, even though it's not identical, it's usually highly correlated. Right, inflation data for October, it'll come. It will not be a big surprise tomorrow. It could, but most likely will not. But CPI data, and next week, the following weeks, 2 weeks, not next week, but week after next week, the CPI data that will have an impact on the market. So short-term January and December position, I'm still bullish. I still have 300 call, and I financed it with 280, 275 put. I think as long as QQQ is above 280, I'm taking advantage of the time decay. Going into March, I'm bearish, right? So March position 300, 310 call spread, credit call spread, that's a bearish position. March 270, 280 put spread, debit put spread is bearish, right? Start slowly adding to SH position. If you're not comfortable trading options, or you cannot trade options, spreads, one way to hedge is by SH or PSQ, inverse ETF, 1-to-1, pretty liquid. You don't have to worry about, issues that you have with triple leverage ETFs. Still have a spider position. We're at 395. Market is looking for direction. Probably Powell's speech will give market some direction. So if it reaches 400, 415, my goal is to close, get out of the spiders by the time it reaches probably 410, 415. XLF, bearish, 35, 30 put in March, close the call spread. I think all the value stocks are overbought. And XLK, I'm watching 130.5 level. I am watching 130.5 level. And then finally, XOP. XOP is December. I have to make a decision. It doesn't have a lot of premium. For now, looks like XOP is not going anywhere. So I'm a little bit off on timing. One way is to close December and roll it into March. But for now, it looks like this support level is holding around 145. All right. Those are the stocks. Let's see, any questions? How's the Discord guys doing? All right, Discord, let me know if you guys have any questions. And no. All right. And the GoToWebinar. Okay, no question. All right. So yield continues to go high, right? The 2-year and 10-year spread, it continues to increase, right? It's now 53 plus 23, 75. It's approaching 80 basis points. So inversion of the yield, it doesn't matter what time frame you look at, it's just getting bigger and bigger, which is negative for the market. But dollar is down today, TLT is flat. Not a lot of semis turning negative, spiders turning negative. China continues to go higher with the assumption that the Communist Party will pivot on the zero COVID policy. And then what else? In terms of what should lose, anything else stands out? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. All right, so CrowdStrike is actually at 114.65. We have 901. Let's keep watching. Let's see. Let's see what the short put is worth. So I can close the short put at $4.30. So it's a loss of $400. But then I have a short stock that I have to deal with. So I have to wait and see when this rally will come to an end. And QQQ already pulled back, right? It rallied and pulled back. Let's see, ARC. CrowdStrike is more like ARC. So ARC and already pulled back. CrowdStrike. Maybe not yet. I mean, if I had two contracts, I would probably close one short put and leave the other, but I only have one contract. So I have to wait and see. See workday. All right, I'm gonna close the short put. What is it, 904? Probably need to wait another candlestick, another 15 minutes. All right, 906, let's see, CrowdStrike. Workday, let's see. Okay. So yeah, I got out of the workday. So now I have to watch the crowd strike. So I'm just waiting for another candlestick to make sure we're not going above 115. It's a little bit early. What do we have for economic data? Job openings, quits, pending home sales. Oh, that's already 10 a.m. Eastern, right? So that's already gone. Okay. So basically, I have till 1:30 to close this position. All right, let's see. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions. Let's see, Discord, guys. Steve, thank you. Tesla seems to be building bottom for now. Yeah. Yeah, Tesla's going through some bottoming process. I agree. All right. QQQ. Okay, so QQQ is recovering close to session high. Semis are still haven't recovered completely. How's ARC doing? ARC is actually close to session high. Okay. So I'm going to continue monitoring CrowdStrike. VIX is at 20. Yeah, VIX is at 20. Let's see how the interest rates. Yeah, 2-year yield continues to rise. All right, it's 9:14. And CrowdStrike is trying to find the direction. And QQQ is same. It's a little bit over. It's kind of building on its obsession high. So CrowdStrike is following. So keep an eye on the lead circle. I will monitor it, and the goal is again, if this is the top, then just sell. Or if I think this is the top, then I would close the short put, minimize the loss, and then close the short stop. All right, Discord guys, thank you. I forgot to send that message. Okay. It's Monday, 8:30. All right. Thank you, Discord guys. And go to webinar. Bill. All right. Yeah, closing bell. Scott will do the closing bell. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Let's keep an eye on CrowdStrike. It looks like it's building the top, but again, it could, we could have second wave coming. I think just keep an eye on QQQ and ARC. But if it's not going anywhere, then they, in ideal world, close the short, put, and then wait for the stock to drop. All right, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Thank you, Faust. Thank you, Phil.